Good morning, friends. Today I want to share a message straight from God's Word, a message that has the power to transform your life, shape your destiny, and set the tone for every day you live. God said, train your mind and win your morning. Think about that for a moment. He didn't say win the day first or conquer the world first. He said, win your morning, because how you start your morning determines the outcome of your entire day. Your mind is the battlefield where victory or defeat is first decided. If you allow negativity, distractions, or doubts to control your mind in the first hours of the day, you give the rest of the day a blueprint to fail. But if you take control, train your thoughts, and align your mind with God's purpose, you set a foundation for unstoppable success. This morning, I'm going to show you how to master your mind, seize the first moments of your day, and turn every morning into a launch pad for excellence, purpose, and victory. God's instruction is simple, yet profound. Train your mind, and you will win your morning. The moment you wake up each day, you enter a spiritual and mental arena that sets the tone for everything that follows. Many people do not understand that the quality of their day is determined not by external circumstances, but by the state of their mind in those first moments after awakening. God said, train your mind and win your morning. And this is not a casual suggestion. It is a divine strategy. If you want to be effective, if you want to live with purpose, if you desire to fulfill the assignment for which you were created, you must first take control of your mind before you take control of anything else. You see, the mind is a battlefield. Every thought that enters it has the potential to shape your destiny. If you allow your mind to be passive, if you allow it to drift into worry, distraction, or negativity as soon as you wake, you are already defeated before your day begins. But if you train your mind, if you discipline your thoughts, if you command your focus, then your morning becomes an instrument of power, a platform of productivity, and a launch pad for your purpose. The first thing to understand is that your morning is sacred. The first hour after you wake up is when your spiritual and mental capacity is most sensitive. It is when the seeds you plant in your thoughts are most likely to take root. If you start the day by surrendering to distractions, by rushing without direction, by reacting instead of reflecting, you are giving control of your life to circumstances rather than to God. But when you consciously decide to train your mind, you create a framework of intentionality that shapes not only your morning, but your entire day. This means that as soon as you open your eyes, you refuse to allow negative, idle, or destructive thoughts to enter. You decide what thoughts you will entertain. You decide that your mind will focus on purpose, clarity, and excellence. You begin to understand that thought precedes action, that the quality of your thinking determines the quality of your living. Training your mind begins with awareness. You must recognize that your mind is powerful, that it is a tool, a gift, and a responsibility. God said, train your mind, which implies that the mind is not automatically disciplined. Discipline is not something that comes without effort. It is not something that happens by chance or by habit alone. You must intentionally guide your thoughts, direct your mental energy, and exercise your will to focus on what matters most. When you wake up, you are presented with an opportunity to decide, will your morning control you, or will you control your morning? Will you allow your emotions, your environment, your fears, or your desires to dictate your first actions, or will you intentionally shape your day through thought, prayer, meditation, and planning? One of the ways to train your mind is through affirmations and declarations. Speaking truth into your life at the start of your day is a way to guide your subconscious mind toward what you desire. When you declare that you will have a productive, victorious, and purposeful day, you are not merely repeating words. You are planting ideas into the deepest parts of your consciousness. These ideas then influence your decisions, your energy, and your actions. Every successful person understands the power of intentional thought. They do not wait for motivation, they create it through mental discipline. You must understand that motivation is fleeting, but discipline is permanent. Training your mind ensures that you are not a victim of circumstances, but a master of them. Another critical aspect of training your mind in the morning is controlling your focus. The world will attempt to steal your attention as soon as you wake. There are texts, emails, social media notifications, and the endless noise of the environment trying to pull you in every direction. If you do not control your focus, you will find your energy wasted and your purpose delayed. The morning is your opportunity to filter out distractions and concentrate on what truly matters. You begin by asking yourself, what is the most important thing I must accomplish today? What thoughts will empower me rather than weaken me? You then align your mind with these priorities before the world demands them from you. This simple act of mental discipline is the difference between mediocrity and excellence, between reacting to life and creating life, between wandering aimlessly and walking purposefully. The mind also needs nourishment, just like the body. You cannot expect to think clearly if your mind is cluttered with negativity, fear, doubt, or unresolved issues. Training your mind in the morning requires feeding it with wisdom, knowledge, and truth. This is why reading, reflection, meditation, and prayer are crucial at the start of the day. They provide your mind with perspective, strength, and clarity. When your mind is filled with truth, your decisions are sound, your actions are aligned with purpose, and your responses are deliberate rather than impulsive. Training your mind means making a daily commitment to fill it with what is good, noble, and true, rejecting the distractions that weaken your spirit and derail your potential. Consistency is another principle of mental training. One day of focused thought does not create a habit. Winning your morning requires repetition. Every day you must practice controlling your mind. Every day you must take the first moments as sacred. Every day you must exercise intentionality in thought. This repeated action conditions your mind to respond correctly, to act with clarity, and to maintain focus under pressure. Over time, the discipline of your mind becomes second nature. You no longer wake up to chaos. You wake up to purpose. You no longer react to problems. You respond with wisdom. You no longer drift through your day, you navigate it with precision and excellence. Finally, training your mind in the morning is about ownership. You must take responsibility for your thoughts, your focus, and your actions. God said, train your mind and win your morning, which means that victory is possible. But it is your responsibility to achieve it. You cannot blame circumstances, others, or your environment for the quality of your day. Your mind is the command center. Your thoughts determine your emotions, your decisions, and your outcomes. When you take control of your mind, you take control of your life. You position yourself to experience breakthroughs, opportunities, and successes that are not available to the untrained mind. Every great achievement, every moment of significance begins in the mind. If you train your mind at the start of the day, if you intentionally choose what you think, how you focus, and how you respond, you will find that the rest of your day aligns with your purpose. The first victory is mental, and it determines every victory. The quality of your day, the direction of your life, and the magnitude of your success are not determined by chance or luck. They are determined by habits. The small, consistent actions that you take, especially in the morning. God said, train your mind and win your morning. And part of winning your morning is establishing spiritual and mental habits that shape your day. Habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They form the foundation upon which your achievements, your influence, and your purpose are built. Without intentional habits, life becomes reactive. Without intentional habits, the day controls you instead of you controlling the day. And yet, many people wake up and allow their mornings to be dictated by randomness, by distraction, by the pressures of the world. They fail to understand that every morning is a divine opportunity to program the mind, align the spirit, and create a rhythm of success. To establish spiritual and mental habits is not optional. It is essential for anyone who desires significance, purpose, and victory. The first principle in establishing these habits is intentionality. Intention is the difference between merely going through motions and living with purpose. Many people wake up and immediately react to what the world demands, responding to messages, emails, or urgent tasks without pausing to consider what truly matters. But when you are intentional, you decide before you act. You decide what your mind will focus on, what your spirit will dwell upon, and what your energy will be devoted to. Intentionality creates structure, and structure creates freedom. You are free to achieve, to think clearly, and to pursue your goals without being hijacked by chaos. Intentional habits repeated daily train your mind to seek what is productive, what is meaningful, and what aligns with your purpose. The second principle is consistency. A single morning of discipline does not create transformation. Habits require repetition. The spiritual and mental disciplines you establish must be repeated daily until they become second nature. This is why the morning is so critical. It is the time when the mind is fresh, the spirit is most receptive, and decisions have the greatest impact. If you read, meditate, pray, or plan your day consistently in the morning, over time these habits will shape your mental and spiritual framework. They will condition your mind to focus on what is important, to ignore what is trivial, and to respond rather than react. Consistency is the mother of mastery. The person who consistently cultivates their mind and spirit in the morning becomes unstoppable in their pursuits. Another critical habit to establish is reflection. Reflection is not merely thinking, it is intentional evaluation of your life, your choices, and your purpose. In the quiet moments of the morning, you can review your goals, assess your progress, and realign your actions with your vision. Reflection allows you to learn from yesterday, plan for today, and anticipate the opportunities and challenges ahead. It is through reflection that you develop clarity, insight, and wisdom. A mind that is trained to reflect is a mind that is prepared. It is not caught off guard by circumstances. It is equipped to make decisions with discernment and act with precision. Establishing a habit of reflection in the morning ensures that your day is not wasted, that your energy is directed, and that your time is invested in what matters most. Prayer, meditation, and spiritual focus are also essential habits. These are not optional routines. They are foundational practices that align your mind with divine wisdom and guidance. When you engage in spiritual disciplines each morning, you connect your mind and spirit to a higher source of wisdom. This connection provides clarity, peace, and direction that cannot be found in the chaos of the world. Spiritual habits train the mind to trust, to hope, and to act with confidence. They create an inner resilience that allows you to navigate challenges without being overwhelmed. A person who begins their day with spiritual focus is better equipped to handle stress, make decisions, and lead with integrity. Mental habits are equally important. What you allow your mind to dwell on each morning determines your emotional state, your energy, and your behavior throughout the day. Habits of positive thinking, gratitude, visualization, and affirmations condition your mind to focus on opportunities rather than obstacles, on solutions rather than problems, and on growth rather than limitation. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control your response. Mental habits in the morning prepare you to respond wisely rather than react impulsively. They empower you to pursue goals with determination, to persevere through difficulty, and to maintain clarity in the face of distraction. Establishing these habits is training the mind to operate at its highest capacity. Discipline is the glue that holds all habits together. Without discipline, even the best intentions falter. It is easy to skip a morning of reflection, prayer, or planning, but the person who is disciplined refuses to let excuses dictate their actions. Discipline is not punishment, it is a commitment to the excellence you desire in life. It is the willingness to choose long-term victory over short-term comfort. Every morning, discipline trains your mind to focus, to prioritize, and to act with purpose. Habits built on discipline compound over time, producing results far greater than any single effort could achieve. It is also essential to understand the role of environment in shaping habits. Your surroundings, the people you interact with, and the content you consume in the morning influence your mind and spirit. A positive, structured environment supports your habits, while a chaotic, distracting environment undermines them. This is why many successful people create morning routines that are protected from interruption, free from unnecessary distraction, and conducive to focus. By controlling your environment, you reinforce the habits you are trying to establish, ensuring that your morning becomes a sanctuary of preparation rather than a battlefield of distraction. Finally, accountability strengthens habits. While habits begin with personal commitment, sharing your goals, routines, or intentions with trusted individuals creates a support system that encourages perseverance. Accountability provides feedback, motivation, and reinforcement. It reminds you that your habits are not isolated acts, but part of a larger purpose and vision. When you commit to your spiritual and mental habits consistently, over time, they become the foundation of character, resilience, and achievement. You become a person who does not merely drift through life, but someone who deliberately creates each day, starting with the morning as a reflection of purpose, power, and excellence. Winning your morning is not about waking up early alone. It is about the intentional, consistent, and disciplined practices you engage in during that time. It is about programming your mind to think clearly, nourishing your spirit with truth, establishing routines that promote growth, and cultivating habits that align with your highest purpose. Establishing spiritual and mental habits in the morning is an investment in your life. It is the act of taking control, of refusing to be led by circumstance, and of choosing victory before the world demands your attention. Habits are invisible forces that shape your destiny. The more intentional you are in creating them, the more your life will reflect excellence, purpose, and divine alignment. The person who masters their habits in the morning will master their life, for it is in these early hours that the mind, the spirit, and the potential for greatness converge. The morning is more than just the start of a new day. It is the foundation upon which your entire life is built. God said, train your mind and win your morning. And winning your morning is not simply about productivity. It is about creating a strong, consistent foundation for long-term success. The way you begin each day determines the trajectory of your life because the morning sets the rhythm for your thoughts, decisions, and actions. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, and every significant milestone in life begins with the discipline of your mornings. Those who understand this principle do not leave their success to chance. They intentionally design their mornings to align with purpose, vision, and long-term goals. Success is not a product of luck or circumstance. It is a product of consistent, deliberate action. When you use your mornings effectively, you are engaging in a strategy that compounds over time. Each morning becomes a building block for the life you desire. It is in these hours that you have the greatest mental clarity, the least distraction, and the highest potential for focus. You must seize this time to establish habits, prioritize goals, and align your mind with your purpose. The small actions you take in the morning, planning your day, engaging in mental and spiritual disciplines, focusing on priorities, multiply over weeks, months, and years, creating a foundation for long-term success that cannot be shaken by temporary challenges. One of the first steps in using your morning as a foundation for success is setting clear priorities. Many people waste the first hours of their day reacting to what others demand rather than acting on what is most important. A successful morning begins with clarity about what must be accomplished and what aligns with your long-term vision. By identifying your most important tasks and focusing on them first, you ensure that your energy and attention are invested where they will produce the greatest return. This principle is simple yet profound. What you do first in the morning shapes the rest of your day and ultimately determines the outcomes in your life. When you consistently focus on priorities in the morning, you build momentum, confidence, and a track record of success that extends far beyond a single day. Another critical aspect is mental preparation. Your mind is the command center of your life. If your mind is disorganized, distracted, or negative, your entire day suffers. Winning your morning requires training your mind to think strategically, to visualize your goals, and to focus on solutions rather than problems. Visualization and mental rehearsal are powerful tools. When you picture the success you desire and mentally walk through the steps required to achieve it, you prime your subconscious mind to recognize opportunities, solve problems, and act decisively. Mental preparation in the morning is not optional, it is essential. It ensures that your mind is aligned with your vision, ready to overcome obstacles, and capable of maintaining focus even when challenges arise. Consistency is the bridge between morning discipline and long-term success. One productive morning is not enough. Repeated effort builds habits, and habits build results. Each morning you wake and follow a purposeful routine, you are reinforcing patterns that lead to achievement. Over time, these consistent actions compound, creating a foundation that supports extraordinary outcomes. This is why long-term success is rarely a result of a single breakthrough. It is the product of daily discipline, repeated over years. By establishing a morning routine that includes goal setting, reflection, spiritual connection, and focused work, you create a structure that sustains you through both opportunities and challenges. Spiritual alignment is also a key component of morning success. The morning is a time to connect with divine wisdom, to seek guidance, and to establish the moral and spiritual compass that will guide your decisions. This connection provides clarity, discernment, and resilience that cannot be gained through human effort alone. A person who begins their day with spiritual focus is better equipped to navigate the uncertainties of life, make ethical decisions, and maintain integrity under pressure. Spiritual habits in the morning are not rituals to be overlooked. They are the anchor that stabilizes your mind, strengthens your character, and positions you for success that endures. Time management is another essential aspect of winning your morning. The hours you invest in deliberate, high-value activities yield the greatest returns. This requires planning, discipline, and the ability to resist distractions. The morning is the period when you are least likely to be interrupted and most capable of deep focus. By allocating your time wisely, you ensure that the hours immediately after waking are used to advance your goals, nurture your mind and spirit, and lay the groundwork for achievements that extend beyond the day. Effective time management in the morning is a skill that multiplies over time, transforming small efforts into substantial results. Physical health also plays a role in long-term success. The state of your body affects the state of your mind. Establishing habits such as exercise, hydration, and proper nutrition in the morning ensures that you have the energy, focus, and stamina to pursue your goals. A healthy body supports a disciplined mind, and together, they form the foundation for a productive and successful life. Ignoring the body while focusing solely on mental or spiritual disciplines is a mistake, because the mind and spirit rely on physical vitality to operate at their best. Winning your morning means taking care of the whole person, mind, spirit, and body, so that you are fully equipped to achieve your potential. Reflection and planning are also crucial morning practices for long-term success. Taking time to review your progress, assess your goals, and plan your day ensures that your actions are aligned with your vision. Reflection allows you to learn from mistakes, celebrate achievements, and adjust strategies as needed. Planning creates a roadmap for the day, ensuring that your energy is invested in meaningful activities rather than reactive tasks. Together, reflection and planning form a powerful habit that keeps you on course, prevents wasted effort, and builds momentum toward long-term objectives. Accountability strengthens the impact of morning routines. Sharing your goals, routines, or intentions with trusted individuals creates a support system that reinforces discipline and provides motivation. Accountability encourages consistency, ensures follow-through, and reminds you of the larger purpose behind your actions. Long-term success is rarely achieved in isolation. By establishing habits that include accountability in the morning, you create a network of support that sustains you through challenges, celebrates your victories, and keeps your focus on what matters most. Finally, the morning is an opportunity to cultivate a mindset of excellence and purpose. Each morning, the choices you make, the thoughts you entertain, and the actions you take are investments in your future. Excellence is not accidental. It is the result of intentional, repeated effort. By committing to winning your morning, you create a foundation of discipline, focus, and clarity that compounds over time. Purpose is realized when daily actions are aligned with long-term vision. The morning is the time to establish this alignment, ensuring that your life progresses in a direction that fulfills your highest potential. Using your mornings as a foundation for long-term success is about more than routine. It is about strategy. It is about understanding that the first hours of the day have disproportionate influence over outcomes and intentionally leveraging that time to shape your mind, spirit, and body. It is about creating habits that multiply over time, building resilience, maintaining focus, and aligning daily actions with your ultimate goals. The person who masters their mornings masters their life. They understand that long-term success is built on the consistent, disciplined, and purposeful use of each day's beginning. Each morning becomes an investment in the future, a time to prepare, align, and activate the potential within. Winning your morning means taking ownership of your time, thoughts, and actions. It means refusing to be led by circumstance and choosing to lead yourself with discipline, intention, and vision. It means committing to habits that nourish your mind, body, and spirit, and using the quiet, focused hours of the morning to build the life you desire. The foundation you lay each morning determines the height of your achievements, the depth of your influence, and the strength of your legacy. When you consistently win your mornings, long-term success is not a question of possibility. It is the inevitable result of deliberate, disciplined, and PU. A poseful action.